And that brings us to our next talking point, spinning a yarn. Once again, we are at Nuit Rose, a festival of queer art and performance, and we have another artist here at Nuit Rose, Mikey Anderson.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Now, you came in from Chicago with
Yes.
some of your art. Go Chicago. Actually, I want to know.
I love Chicago.
Chi-town.
Chi-town, Chicago pizza.
That was Chi-Town.
I don't know. I just
Chi-
said
That's just anyway. Tell us. I have some examples of your work up here. I know it's hanging at a gallery
they're so cute.
nearby. Tell us about your work.
Okay, so this is kind of weird being on a microphone, but I'm gonna deal with it.
You got this. You got this.
So these are some of my embroidered pieces that I was doing. So I'm also an art therapist. I'm studying to be an art therapist. So I was just finishing up an internship at a women's identified shelter. And so while I was working there, I started creating these embroideries, kind of taking on the secondary trauma of working with some of the homeless women. And I was specifically working with trans women and creating more spaces, more LGBTQ spaces in the shelter for the women. And so we would hold like knitting circles, sewing circles, which has its own history in like feminism and feminist sewing circles. And so these two pieces are at Artscape Young Place right now.
What is an art therapist? Like, so like make this thing and forget your troubles. Like, I genuinely don't know what an art therapist is.
Okay, so it's kind of like a therapist who uses art.
Got it. No further explanation required.
So like,
Got it.
I'd put a piece of paper out and maybe you'd like draw something and we'd talk about it. Or like when I was working with the women, they would embroider like pillows. And so what we would talk about is like the symbolism of the pillow, but actually then the pillows were something that they could use when they would go out onto the streets of Chicago, which are extremely harsh. But yeah, it's like, because when you're exposed to trauma, you don't always have words. And so that way art helps to bring the trauma out in a nonverbal way. That's like the smart-ish way to say it.
Well, what was behind like these two pieces? A lot of your pieces. I mean, they have this look, but what's behind the art? Is it the experience at the shelter?
I think it's both the experience of the shelter, also like being able to also engage in like self-care. And so the pieces were also inspired by Keith Haring. And so that's where there are all these like kind of like funky little characters that are kind of breaking in half and they're
Touching dicks.
Yeah, touching dicks.
Yeah.
Dick Rainbow.
Hashtag Dick Rainbow.
If I was a detective during Pride, that would be my name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dick Rainbow.
That's a great one. So yeah, that's where some of those were coming from. This is like part of my art therapy stuff, but they're also kind of inspired by toys that I make as well, and so.
Which I love. I didn't know about these until I met you, and they're called yarnies, right?
Yeah, so I make these guys.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And
Oh my God. There's
Can I buy all of them?
I want one.
and I'm currently making some queer puppets right now to do some work with LGBT youth.
Are there
But
a lot of straight puppets?
Yeah, there are a lot of straight puppets. But and also like kids told me I was funnier when I had a puppet. But yarnies it's like my handmade business that I started like 7 years ago with they initially started with Cynthia Raleigh, who's a fashion designer, and then it went on to being more of like my own little business.
Cool.
How many yarnies have you made?
Like thousands.
Oh my God.
Like
So can
literal
we-
thousands.
Can we just buy these
How long does
from
it
you,
take
or,
you to
like,
make
what's
a
the story?
yarnie?
It's like, how long does it take? Like a couple hours. Usually I'll sew like 20 at a time. and then cut 20 at a time, and then have someone stuff them, and then basically it's like a little assembly line of toy making within my apartment with my rabbit and roommate.
What's your favorite animal to make?
So far it's been a sloth and a unicorn.
A sloth?
Yeah.
So cute.
I like the pug.
Pug's very cute
I
too.
like the pug.
I also do
Hi.
dog portraits, so if you ever need your dog turned into
Shout
a
out to my
plushie.
Oh my God. Yes. I
Yeah.
love that. Do people say to you like, "Here's a picture," or do you meet the dog and?
Yeah, like I just did one for actually it was a gay couple. They had like a history of Labradors together, and so I made every single Labrador plus Labradors plushies that look like this for all their friends and family.
Oh my God.
That's adorable.
That's adorable. So if people want to buy one of your yarnies, order one, because you do.
Me, for example.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exact same.
What is your website?
Yarniesloveyou.com.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
LUV, not LOV.
Of course it
Of course.
is. It could only be cuter if it was WOV.
Yeah.
Yarnies love you. So great.
if-
So
that's
great.
right. It's your website address is as adorable as you are.
I'm blushing.
Oh. Thank you very much, Mikey Anderson.
Yeah.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/ThePointGuys.